Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT and welcome back to another Madden 18 rebuild, and today is one of the hardest rebuilds you will ever see because we're going to see if we can take the 0-8 Cleveland Browns and bring them to the playoffs. We're going to see if we can save their season. The way we're going about this is we're using the real life roster jumping into week 9, so everything is exactly the same as it currently is in real life. But what I did do is turn off the trade deadline. So the only chance we have at making the playoffs is me rebuilding this team as good as I possibly can and us winning out and finishing the season 8-8 and somehow, some way getting a wild card berth. Even if we win the rest of the 8 games in this season, we might not make the playoffs. So it's almost impossible that we do make the playoffs, but we're going to see if it is possible. And if we do make the playoffs, and that means we won like the last 8 games of the season, that means we'll probably win the Super Bowl at that point, but we never know what's going to happen in Connected Franchise do. But I'm going to try my absolute best and rebuild this team to give us the chance to make the playoffs. Now, I will say, if we do finish the season 8-8, that will be pretty successful, but obviously the ultimate goal is to make it to the playoffs and win the Super Bowl, potentially. But that is kind of out of our control, but we're going to try our best. So hopefully you guys do enjoy today's video, and if you do, make sure to drop a like. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes for this crazy rebuild idea. And if you guys have any other crazy rebuild ideas like this, let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn on the notification bell if you haven't. But with that said, let's get to making the Browns way better than they already are. So we just got our star quarterback. We trade Jamar Taylor at 76, Emmanuel Ogbah at 75, and a first-round draft pick from this year to the Green Bay Packers for Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I know he's hurt in real life, but to make this like halfway work, I did turn injuries off so we can't get injured players. There we go, boys. One of our biggest positions of need is left in. We just traded our middle linebacker a 70 overall, our third string running back Jackson a 65 overall, and a 4th round draft pick from this year for a 90 overall Cameron Wake to solidify that side. We just got Luke Kuechly, 97 overall middle linebacker, for our third string wide receiver Kenny Britt, our backup left tackle Rod Johnson, and a 2nd round draft pick from this year. We did not even have to use a 1st round draft pick to bring in one of the best middle linebackers, maybe the best middle linebacker in all the NFL. I think we're back to get our starting running back for this season. Gonna throw in a 2nd round draft pick from this year to see if we can bring in, actually let's throw in a 3rd instead, see if we can get just a 3rd for Zeke. And it was accepted. So for our starting strong safety, who we will improve, is 78 overall, Cody Kessler, who is the 4th quarterback on our roster, and a 3rd round draft pick from this year, we get a 95 overall running back to bolster the offense. There we go. We bring in 96 overall Ndamukong Suh. Was trying to see what we could get for Isaiah Crowell. We trade him, Kevin Hogan, and a 3rd round draft pick from next year. There we go. We get our first beast wide receiver of the video. We trade away like a 3rd or 4th string defensive tackle, Landon Collins, who's going to be replaced, or Jamie Collins, and a 2nd round draft pick from next year to bring in the first beast wide receiver to the team. That is none other than Dez Bryant. There we go. Strong safety was one of our worst positions after we traded our strong safety earlier away for somebody else. Now we trade away our backup left tackle with 72 overall, Deshaun Kaiser is 74 overall, and a 2nd round draft pick for Landon Collins, a 6 from this year and a 6 from next year. Whoa, I did not expect that. But we just got one of our biggest positions of need, free safety, 91 overall Glover Quinn, for our center, who's a 75 overall, who will be replaced, and a 2nd round draft pick from this year. Probably could have got something else, but I guess it could have been worse. Gotta piss bad. I'm back from pissing. So we just got our starting right guard from the Detroit Lions, 89 overall TJ Ling, for 70 overall Ibrahim Campbell, 70 overall, a 4th round draft pick, and a 5th round draft pick from this year. So you guys don't call me the Finesse King for nothing. We just traded Jabril Peppers, a 5th round draft pick, and a 66 overall wide receiver to the Detroit Lions for 87 overall veteran wide receiver Marvin Jones. So we just traded for veteran 98 overall tight end Greg Olsen from the Carolina Panthers for Josh Gordon, a 4th round draft pick from next year, and like our 5th string 64 overall cornerback. That was a lot easier than I thought. Traded like our 5th string defensive tackle, 74 overall, to the Oakland Raiders for 90 overall Rodney Hudson at the position on the offensive line that we sucked at. So we just traded our 3rd string tight end, 78 overall, our backup 67 overall middle linebacker, and our 5th string 66 overall wide receiver for 96 overall David DeCastro, who we're going to convert over to right tackle. And after that, I think our offensive line is going to be complete. So we just got a veteran wide receiver from my Tennessee Titans, the 85 overall Eric Decker, for our 3rd string or 4th string defensive tackle Joe Metter, 76 overall, and a 4th round draft pick, which I had to trade up for, which is really weird because I feel like if I did this now, it would go through. Because a second ago, I was trying to make this deal go through before I traded up for the 4th round draft pick, and they only valued Joe Metter at a 3-star, and now randomly it's a 5-star. I don't know why that just randomly changed. We finally got the man that I was going after. Left outside linebacker Clay Matthews. That was our worst position as of right now. 89 overall for our backup right guard as of right now. Kevin Zietler, a 4th round draft pick from this year and a 1st round draft pick from next year. So we get an upgrade at the right outside linebacker position. We currently have 80 overall Christian Kirksey, but we just traded Corey Coleman, a 3rd round draft pick which we traded up for, and a 62 overall right outside linebacker for the veteran 90 overall Sean Lee from the Dallas Cowboys. One of our biggest remaining positions of need was cornerback, so I traded away Christian Kirksey, a 2nd round draft pick from next year, a 4th round draft pick from this year, all which I had to trade up for to the New York Giants for 89 overall Janoris Jenkins. I didn't actually think this was going to go through, but we needed one more half-decent wide receiver to have 4 really talented wide receivers. So we traded the 3rd round draft pick from next year, which I had to trade up for as well. Our backup 64 overall middle linebacker, and our 4th string, which was our current 4th string, 70 overall Ricardo Lewis, to the Green Bay Packers for 83 overall Randall Cobb. Boom! This trade was actually huge. All I had left was a 1st round draft pick. I had nothing else I could really trade away at all, and I needed 2 more positions. I needed at least a half-decent corner with a pulse and a backup middle linebacker. There was no good corners out there that I could get for a 1st round draft pick, and like the ones that I could get for a 1st round draft pick were like underwhelming, such as Brent Grimes. So I went ahead and tried to like get both, like kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get the middle linebacker and corner at the same time. And I know they're not the greatest 2, but with just a 1st round draft pick to get both of these guys, both Brent Grimes and Quan Alexander, 86 and 80 overall, for a 1st rounder, and I had to throw in Carl Nassib as well, I take that as a huge W, and I think there's literally nothing else I can freaking trade away. I think the rebuild is done, boys. So the team that we have put together, I believe, is pretty freaking incredible, honestly, for what we had to trade away and for what the team was in its current state. This team is a massive, massive improvement. I would have liked to probably get one more like a talented wide receiver, but I mean, with Aaron Rodgers, the lowest overall player on offense, the lowest starter, looks like it's going to be Marvin Jones or Eric Decker. But our wide receiver corps, I mean, across the board, depth-wise, is talented. I mean, Dez Bryant, Eric Decker, Marvin Jones, and Randall Cobb. 2 very good running backs, Zeke and Duke Johnson. Aaron Rodgers, obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. A very solid offensive line. David DeCastro actually was improved from a 96 to a 97 overall when converting him to right tackle. 2 very good tight ends, Greg Olsen and David Njoku, who's one of the few players that still remain on the team that was already on the Browns. And defense is much improved as well. Linebacker core is looking super freaking nasty. Sean Lee, Luke Kuechly, and Clay Matthews. The safeties are nasty as well. Glover Quinn and Landon Collins. The corners are a little underwhelming in Jason McCourty and Brent Grimes. Janoris Jenkins. I mean, that's actually a pretty good receiver or cornerback core, with Buddy Calhoun being the worst one at 82 overall. And the defensive line's pretty good as well. Aside from Myles Garrett is actually the lowest overall starter on this defense, which is a pretty good thing, and obviously did not want to upgrade him or trade him away because he was a number 1 overall draft pick. Hopefully he does improve this last half of the season. So boys, all we can do now is hope and pray to God that we somehow, someway luck up and get a wild card spot. If we can actually make this happen and end up making the playoffs, it will be one of the most impossible feats ever in rebuild history, because it's going to take us going 8-0 to finish off the season, and it's going to take a ton of luck. But I've definitely seen 8-8 teams make it in the playoffs in simulation. So with that said, I'll go ahead and send to the playoffs, man. If we go 8-0, if we finish the season 8-8, I will consider it like halfway of a success, because the rest of the rebuild is out of my control. So here we go. The moment of truth. Can we make it happen? I'm not expecting it to happen. We're probably going to screw up and lose 1 game to end off the season. But Browns, please. Browns, freaking please, for once in your life, do something correctly and be great. Give me this playoff berth, and hello? Please? Dang it! Dang it! What? We went 7-1. If an 8-8 team made it to the playoffs, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, so no 8-8 teams made it to the playoffs. So even if we went 8-8, we wouldn't make the playoffs. But I'm pissed. An hour and 10 minutes of rebuilding a team to have the challenge fail. Who freaking beat me? Who freaking beat old poor Long? Who freaking beat me? Who did it? Who are you? Show yourself. The Chargers? If you watched yesterday's video, there's a reason this is kind of ironic.